episode 8. I don't know why I keep calling them episodes. Maybe this just feels more episode-y. But anyway, beginning with our recap, this time from Cherry's perspective.
This is a recap from Cherry's vlog. Ben, I'm gonna let you play the soundboard stuff because I just can't multitask that many
Oh,
things. Okay.
oh,
If
I
it
didn't.
if it's a soundboard bite that I have that that I describe, you can do it. Okay.
I got you. I was right with
Okay.
it. I can do this.
Okay. All right. So a recap, but from Cherry's vlog. Yahoo! Welcome back, my little blossoms. Many of you are probably wondering, Saikendo. Well, hold on to your cups because I'm about to spill the bubble tea. The sound of splashing liquid and a cutified, oh my, plays in the background. Since my last video, many of you have been blowing up my sites asking what I meant by, quote, expanding my horizons and my platform, end quote. Which, shout out to Daddy's lawyer, that was a great way to put that. To put it plainly, there's so much more going on in the cosmos than just Lohenu Da. I was able to book passage off world so I can continue to give you all the news on the most trending topics. I am on Urala as I am recording this. It turns out politicians here are more boring than they are on most planets. Like they actually appear upstanding. Um and like some of them like live with their moms, which is like cute and wholesome and stuff, I think. Either that or they're really into older women. I've yet to verify that. I'm still getting a feel for how things work on this planet, but as far as I can tell, they really are serious about their religion of peace, of which I will do another video about. So please like, subscribe, and click that little megaphone to be notified about when my new videos drop. However, what isn't as boring is the dating scene. You see a heat wave filter drop over the scene as Cherry fans her face dramatically. It lifts a moment later. Isaiah, if you're watching this, can't wait for our next date. She winks. Anyway, stay tuned for more updates. Until next time, keep it like my news, real fresh and juicy. Outro music, please.
Oh my.
And for our listeners, they might be going, but where are the details about what the party did? To which Cherry would say, it's not a part of her vlog.
uh, Not my problem, yo.
Next time I do recap, though, it will be from the perspective of Cherry's notes for her vlog.
Oh no.
So it'll be more.
Chaotic?
We just didn't have a lot happen last session, to be honest. So I felt like spicing it up more. But
Wow.
once we have more to keep track of, I will actually try and cover that in the recap.
A lot happened last. Tell that to Jennifer Moons.
Oh, no, weird.
Has a day passed since 2 sessions ago? Just out of curiosity.
Probably. Like it's at least been we're at the end of a day.
Okay.
I'm trying to think back to 2 sessions ago.
Ah,
Oh no, 2 sessions ago was kind of like morning of the same day
Okay.
that we're just ending. Yeah, speaking of which, you guys have done some recon on Diedrich Pierce. Followed him for a bit of his time after work. Found him with his mom, and then going to a bar. We had talked about perhaps streamlining some of the subsequent surveilling and shortening it, potentially doing something else, moving on to another part of the plan. So, we had, yeah, I guess there was the idea of trying to flirt him up. Was that going to happen
I think Cherry had already burst back into the bar at the end of last
Yeah.
session.
Mhm.
We hadn't talked about flirting him up. I think it had been more about discussing things with him directly.
That means the same.
Ethan's like, sorry, point to notes.
Bo
You're
writes these
contractually
plans.
obligated.
As much as it says out of character planning, Bo writes these plans.
I was joking. So Ethan typed up in out of character planning, plan for next time, and it explicitly says flirt up Diedrich Pierce. So
Oh my word.
I don't think you
Yes.
have an
Does.
option.
But then it also says spook up as the second option.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes you gotta spook them up and then spook them up and then gear up. That's for the other job. So
Flirt up,
the
spook
idea
up,
is
gear up. Put that on a poster and hang it in your house mantel place.
put that in your guest bathroom.
Live, laugh,
Live,
love.
laugh, and spook up.
So
Wow.
yeah, I guess the gist is looks like you're gonna try the carrot first, and if that doesn't work, then try the stick.
Oh my word.
But yeah, I'm curious to see how you intend to basically use charm slash the carrot to get him to approve Mr. Gray's bar.
Like,
I think Cherry will attempt to introduce herself and just try and feel out his thoughts on it. And then from there, she would ask to either meet up with him the next day to discuss it further or just try and find out if there's a way that they can continue their conversation outside of, some old person bar.
Okay. Got you. Let me see here. Oh, Discord quick popping things up in my way.
No, that's my delaying tactic.
Yeah, let's see. I was just double checking something that I'd sent to Danielle for Cherry last time.
Why are you dead?
Last one. Dates without number.
All right, so we've got. You want to do this in character, or you want to kind of do this out of character?
The date? Wait,
I don't know about the date. I mean, you
meeting
going
Mr.
back.
Bishop?
uh, Trying to flirt him up at the bar.
Oh my word, no. Take that out of character planning.
Okay, so
Aw.
trying to convince him kindly, whatever you want to call it, not necessarily flirting him up. This is on Ethan, by the way. He's the one who typed that.
Now I am disappointed.
um, are you wanting to go in? Are you wanting Cherry to go in solo or bring somebody else along?
She was already marching her way back up to
Okay.
the
Alright, well,
club. So
they'll let her back in.
You're
questions
flirting
asked.
with danger, Ethan.
Oh no. Totally platonic, strictly business way.
there you go.
It's just slang. It's what all the kids are using these days. Oh yeah,
Cherry would not trust Bo's definition of flirt.
rizz him up.
Uh,
Riz is a lot more of a generic term, right? Slightly more generic.
I hate you all. I'm
A,
going inside.
a lot more slang.
Yeah, Riz is
why
short
do you
for
hate
charisma, and
us?
it simply means an ability to charm and woo. Person.
It's slang I just learned and already hate.
Yeah, you should, as you
Wait,
should.
you tell me you hadn't heard Riz before?
Nope.
Oh man, figured anybody on the internet much would have heard that.
Thankfully, I'm not on the internet that much. And I'm on the internet
Well,
quite a lot.
I was gonna say, come on now, Mr. GM, isn't that like assuming knowledge on your part?
I guess so.
Yeah.
All right, so aggressively stretch out, flirt up with her pink pen.
I thought Riz was a stat on my sheet.
I hate you all.
Bo hands her the plan. It's like, nope. All right, so describe to me Cherry's approach here, because she'd gotten him. We handled this off screen last time, but to recap the out of character part, um, Cherry had, while pretty much, I guess, being on a date with this other guy, had managed to engage Bishop Diedrich Pierce in some casual conversation, uh, managed
Mm,
somehow to turn the conversation from the present bar to, that fancy new one she'd been hearing about, and
gonna
managed
chalk
to,
that up to pretty privilege, but
yeah,
continue.
managed to get him talking in, general terms about it, uh, over his drinks. So she's gonna go back in, try to get some more out of that conversation.
So, real quick, I was under the understanding that Cherry did not talk to Mr. Bishop directly.
Hmm.
That what she had heard was from Isaiah.
Ah, I see. Okay. I I guess I was remembering having asked um this, but
Hold
I
on.
can see that misunderstanding
I'm being
because
pinged that
that's
we
actually
indeed did this.
I'm actually fine with that because um that honestly fits better. So we can go with that.
Where is this? Yes.
It was in response to the question I asked you one message before that. Um, however, I am fine with that change because that actually fits better.
Okay. Yeah, I probably didn't realize the way that it was worded.
That actually does
Yeah.
work better because going back in to talk feels awkward. But
Yeah, I would not have gone back in to talk to him if I had already talked to him
Yeah, and I may have
when I
even
was in
confused
there.
myself about it.
That's
Um,
okay. I think I probably just misread it, but my understanding was that she had asked
okay.
Isaiah while
Isaiah
she
about
was
that.
trying to keep an eye on Diedrich,
Hmm. Yeah.
like
Okay.
what he knew about it, and he told her the
Yes.
hearsay about it.
Yeah. That's what we'll go with. So now, armed with a bit of knowledge and sans her date, she heads back into the bar.
Okay. Question. When I was in there, did I get the impression at any point that Diedrich had noticed me, or did he seem otherwise engaged?
How was Cherry dressed again? She was dressed kind of nicely, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. He definitely would have noticed her, but would have paid less attention once she met up with Isaiah.
Okay. Ooh, okay, so she'll walk back into the bar, and does she notice is he with anyone right now?
Uh, he is he is chatting with another woman at the bar.
Okay. Do they look overly familiar with one another, or is that not really possible to tell?
Um, it's hard to tell at just a glance. You could give me a notice check
Okay.
with perhaps either wisdom or charisma would be fine.
Okay. For meta reasons, I'd say charisma, but also non-meta reasons, I think if he's trying to tell body language
Mhm.
and her knowledge with charisma would be what she'd be using for that. Okay. Well, stank either way.
No, it's 7. Um, doesn't she's not really sure how much they know each other, but she is able to notice that the woman is not expressing a whole lot of interest in that conversation.
Mhm. Okay. Well, she will is there room on to the left or right of him, whichever other side
Hmm.
the
Yeah,
woman's
an open seat to the other side of him.
not on? Okay. She'll walk up and take the open seat on his other side. She'll try to order a house special.
Okay, we'll get one coming right up, and he'll glance over, notice you, and then
She'll smile if she can get eye contact.
okay, yeah, he'll make a smile back, uh, and he'll pause in his conversation, turn back, little with a furrowed brow. Excuse me, I weren't you here with someone else a few minutes ago?
Oh, well, I had just met him tonight. We were talking, getting to know each other. I'm kind of new to the area.
Oh well,
He was really nice, but I like to know all my options.
certainly wise. I just was making sure he hadn't left you and left you hanging or anything. You seem
No,
nice enough.
he seemed almost a little too fond. I sort of went outside for a breather, but may have left him under the impression that I was going to be leaving for the night.
Ah, well, he raises his glass to her. Good luck to you and the rest of your evening, then. And
Do you consider yourself very lucky?
she had been starting to turn back uh, to the other woman, and does a very small double take. Uh, Sorry, come again?
Oh, it's just you wished me luck, and I wasn't sure if you're the type of person to wish for luck or make it.
Uh,
Ethan.
doesn't seem to know what to say to that.
She'll take a drink of whatever the house favorite was. Um, what is he drinking? Does she notice?
Could she identify a drink on site like that?
Possibly.
Possibly,
I
huh?
feel like from her experience with the kind of parties her parents have thrown, she would. But if you want
Hmm,
to say,
okay.
this is a different planet, stuff like that, I'd take it either way.
So she could
Okay.
have a difference between Coke and Dr. Pepper.
I could.
Oh man.
I'd be happy to roll another notice check or no check or whatever.
Sure, do it.
Which one do you want?
Connect.
Whichever sounds good to you.
Okay.
I think either one would be fitting.
All right. What attribute do you want? Intelligence, wisdom, what?
Uh, yeah,
Do wisdom because it's life experience. How about that?
sounds good to me.
Man, Cherry and these lucky sevens tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Say that it looks to her like some sort of fruity beverage. Um, Probably a tequila, fairly light on the alcohol.
Is it different from what she had ordered?
Yes.
Okay. She'll flag down the bartender and she'll slide the special back towards him and say, "This isn't really my speed. Could I go ahead and try what it is he's drinking?"
Uh, Barkeeper nods in the affirmative. Do you
Sorry, I
glance
don't
at
know if
the
that's like an old crowd favorite or not. I'm new here and, well, quite a bit younger than it looks like your average attendee is.
The guy shrugs. You do you, sweetheart. And goes to mix her something.
Make him talk more.
I knew somebody was going to
And
say
I
that.
know exactly who you are using for that. Okie dokie, sweetheart.
I know that voice too, but I don't know what character it's supposed to be.
It's
Ah.
Oh
okay, all
no,
in
this
good
was a
time.
real life person that we knew.
Oh, really? Because that's a line and a sound that comes with a cartoon character too.
Oh man.
It's gonna bug me now.
Well, good luck thinking of it. Um,
Yep, there it is. There it
uh,
is. Ethan on the draw.
God bless you for coming out in public.
Oh man.
um, okay, so yeah, he goes to mix up your fruity tequila. Oh boy.
How does good Mr. Bishop appear to be
Yeah.
attending? Attentive or not at this point?
he he seems like he got thrown off his groove a little bit. Uh, Pardon
Has
the
the
reference.
disinterested
No,
party
just oh, what about the disinterested party?
um have they seemed to be frustrated by his faltering, or have they maybe taken opportunity to leave?
Yeah.
Or
So good timely question because as he's kind of waffling, he had started to turn back to say something to her, and then you asked that question that he was not prepared for at all, and he was kind of fumbling over some kind of answer, and then says like, "Wow, I'd have to think about that." She takes the opportunity while he's not looking to split and goes to powder her nose.
how can I ask how old was the woman that he was speaking to? Like someone of comparable age to
Much
himself
younger.
or much
Yeah.
younger? Okay.
Yeah.
Of comparable age to Cherry or
Bit older, but yeah, still a
okay.
good bit younger than him. Somewhere in the
Hmm.
middle.
All right, cool.
Oh no.
All right,
Hmm.
so does
Now
he
we have
turn back?
just
Now we have what?
justification to shoot him.
Oh wait, what?
What?
Why do we have
I was gonna
justification?
say, I
Cherry's
don't
not a
think she's
minor.
underage.
Cherry is
I
not underage. We need to like establish this right now. Cherry is not underage.
I don't think that woman was either.
No, she
No,
wasn't. She was
I
I
older
don't
than
know, but it
Cherry.
sounded like he's like an octogenarian or something.
No, he's in his 50s.
he's like, yeah, he's in.
He's like
Okay,
48 or
let's
50, I
put
think
some
is what
I
numbers
think
on this just for the sake of
he
clarity.
said.
He's in his kind of mid to late 50s. Um, Cherry is, what are we saying? Like,
We were saying 25, I think, if I'm
okay,
remembering correctly.
25. So this other woman is probably early 30s.
okay, I guess I was just embodying the spirit of Bo too much.
You're like, oh,
Being bad with ages.
doth mine ears hear cause for murder?
Not gonna lie,
Bad
I
with
heard
ages, bad with understanding relationships.
I mean, just generally assume if it's not guns, he's bad at it.
Oh, okay. Guns and badgers are what he's got under his
Yeah, and I
belt.
guess farm life. He was average at farm life.
Got you.
What were you? Where were you born? On a farm?
Where
Literally.
were you raised? In a barn? Well, actually.
The barn was nicer.
No. All right. So anyway, upon being ditched by said woman, what does Mr. Bishop choose to do?
He sighs to himself under his breath and then
Mm,
ends up coming up with an answer. Well, it's a it's a bit pretentious to assume to make luck. I wouldn't presume that upon myself. That power lies
mm.
elsewhere.
I guess it would be down to your definition of luck. As a politician, I hear that you kind of have a little more say over that for other people. That's what Isaiah was saying anyway. That like politicians here get to say a lot, honestly.
Hmm. Well, suppose he's right. I don't know that I hold particular sway, but yes, Isaiah does have his own opinions.
Mm. Are you two friends then?
Eh, suppose we might be friends. Not sure if he would say that.
I guess it depends on who's asking. Though I don't know if you come here to meet friends or other people.
I come here to unwind, meet friends, and perhaps make new friends.
Hmm. Has the bartender brought her drink back yet?
Yeah, he lumbers over with it about now.
Oh, finally. I was
Yeah,
about
yeah.
to start looking around for another drink.
He he gives a dismissive shrug and goes back to wiping down the counter and taking someone else's order.
I'll take a sip. You had said it was fruity. How fruity is it? On the cherry meter, how sugary is this drink?
On the cherry meter,
Hmm.
hmm, I'd say it's a pretty solid 7.
All right.
Jerry approved.
Very approved. After she takes a sip, she'll uh hum approvingly. Go, "Oh, you have pretty good taste. Is this your usual? Or are you trying something new tonight?"
Eh, I drink a few different things. Don't really come here to get wasted. Just try something with a little bit of an edge to it.
Mm, well, this place doesn't exactly have much of an edge to it. She'll look around and look a little disappointed. I heard there was an exciting new place that might be opening up soon, but some she'll look a little guiltily at him, say some local figures might be unapproving of it. So I don't think they'll be opening anytime soon.
Hmm. Is she trying to hint to him that she knows he's involved in that process?
I think she was more trying to hint that she was trying not to like openly blame politicians, but
Hmm. Okay.
if he says, "What do you mean?" then she'll elaborate. But would he bite or would he be finding her less uh, interesting than she thinks herself to be, which is fine?
Let me see. Roll 20 is being strangely slow for me. Okay, there we go.
Oh, sorry. Eva's been talking nonstop. I'll shut her up for you so you can roll for a minute.
Yeah, she's bogging down the server. My goodness. It's just like, please, no, make it stop. um. Okay, so he takes a drink and fixes a look on her. Looks her for a few seconds before answering. There are lots of bars being rebuilt. No, you talking about a specific one?
Hmm. Um. Side note: can you provide me with were we given a name for Mr. Gray's bar?
The Silver Fox.
Oh my word! Yeah, that'll really attract the young ladies.
That's funny. I honestly am finding myself wondering if I did give you guys that name or not.
Watch it be
Um,
the same as Esposito's. I'm gonna die.
okay.
The puppy kicking factory. That's what he's.
The puppy kicking factory. Now that would attract some. That the name alone would be a major reason for this guy to turn it down.
PKF for short.
Oh
No,
my!
because that expands out into the killing floor.
Oh no.
Wait, what?
TKF? Oh,
Oh
PKF. Uh,
yeah, PKF. Puppy
that's
kicking
even
factory.
worse when you expand it. We will not say that.
Thanks.
I mean, kicking
Uh,
is bad enough.
uh,
Also, Ben, if at any
hmm.
point she can roll for connect or talk or anything like that, instead of me just having to ad lib.
What? I thought you liked ad-libbing.
I love improving, but at some point, I'm sure everyone's growing bored of me flirting with my husband. So
Wait, Jerry got
Especially
married?
your husband in the body of a upper 50s boring old senator type.
yeah, just not as into it. Sorry.
Oh man. Okay, where did those I swear there's like an entire chunk of my notes that just disappeared.
On
Garbage.
that note, can I make a
All right,
talk check?
sure.
All
Um,
right.
this is a pretty good time for it anyway.
All right. Please work. Please work. Please work. Please be higher than a 7. Are you freaking
On the
kidding me?
dot every time. You have diplomat, right? I think you get to re-roll a d6.
Yeah,
Okay.
reroll those ones.
Okay. Please work. Please work. Please work. Please. Okay. If it's a 7 again, I am closing out the server, and this one does not count.
No. Just
Oh, you just
do a
reroll a one of
slash.
the or a d6 and you
Yeah,
add it.
How do
slash
you?
roll 1d6.
Oh, okay. All right. So I just go over to the die selector and I roll a d6. Got it.
Mhm. That is correct. Okay. Yeah, so that's a
All right.
10. It's reasonable. Okay, so um I'll say that Cherry manages to deflect his suspicion in this line of questioning and
Take it.
um is able to say, she didn't really remember the name, but she'd heard that her whispering in the scene about an exciting new place that some local bigwig was building and going to be managing personally. But
Does he respond to that much at all?
yeah, no, he sort of backs off his intensity a little bit, and but he doesn't give up much information wise. Just says that yeah, it's quite possible that it's run into some trouble. There's he he'd start going off on a little bit about how sentiment has changed and people are people are abandoning the traditions of Orthodox and you know just because a place is fun doesn't mean it's a good thing. That sort of that sort of thing. But
You'd follow the conversation. Um, she would.
she'll give him some
How
feedback.
full is his glass, by the way?
He's pretty much finished off the one that he had.
Okay. Um, Cherry would want to motion the barkeep for 2 more, and
Okay.
then she would ask him with a pretty serious look on her face. She'd say, "Well, I'm unfamiliar with the faith of the Thox, but do your writings call for using force to spread your ideas of peace?"
He gives her kind of a a confused look, spreading force to, or using force to spread our ideas of peace. I'm not sure what you're talking about. No, it really doesn't.
So then, can one litigate righteousness?
It isn't about spreading peace or spreading our beliefs. It's about maintaining peace.
Hmm.
Anyone versed in history understands that peace cannot be sustained by itself.
She would have given the bartender a tip as he brought them their new drinks and
Mhm.
taken away the empty ones.
Okay.
So I'll
You give her a
take
big,
an additional however many credits off of my character here. Um,
yeah, give her a big, toothy smile in return.
well, it's my understanding that often to maintain peace, people need an outlet. Why not allow that to happen in a friendly space, such as a bar or a club?
Mm. Yes, bunch of drunken men. That's a very friendly space. Hmm.
I mean, it depends on the company. And
That
who
it
said it would
does.
only be men?
That's exactly the sort of thing that's concerning. I have to, even venturing here, I have to contend with men and women alike who lose control of themselves.
Oh, do
And
people normally lose control of themselves around you?
huh, he gives her a smirk. But no, Mick runs a fine establishment, but under looser management, a place like this could get out of control quite quickly.
Hmm.
Some
She'll,
jurisdictions are more lenient with
pout
that, but not ours.
as he doesn't really take her up on the bait she threw out.
She's got him talking politics now and religion.
Yep.
His mind is on a higher plane.
Sure. She's thinking, how many more of those fruity drinks do I have to get in this guy? All right.
Yeah, and I'll say you'll notice, and you will have pieced together from what he said as well. Does not seem like uh, it seems like his habit is not to get drunk here at the bar. Um,
yeah. I
and
know.
his
Upstanding gentleman and all that.
drinks have been tailored to that decision. She'd need to slip him something a little stronger if she wanted to get him under the influence.
She's trying.
You gotta pay Smoker along the bartender over there a little higher proof in his next drink.
um, let me give you a minute to consider the next move and see what everybody else is up to. So if everybody else is going to plan
The
tonight,
Urolan planetary electrical code? What?
wait, what? Oh, is this what's being discussed in the van? Are people ready to
Well, sort of.
cover their
Oh my
ears and run
word.
screaming through the parking lot?
Bo is attempting to read a book. A book he doesn't want to be caught dead reading.
Beneath a heart-shaped moon. Oh no. Why is she talking about construction codes?
Well,
Oh,
she
okay.
had to talk about something.
Yeah,
Oh
I think
no.
time when we were talking about seeing the plans of like or something
Oh
and
boy.
Ray's puppy kicking.
I'm shipping it now. Absolutely shipping it now. Calling it.
Oh, Bo's
Or at
answer.
some point they meet the author and she writes fan fiction about Bo and Eva.
Oh no.
For her, that would be like that Stranger Than Fiction movie.
Oh man.
Finds out her brothers have been running around all these years.
Plot
Yeah.
twist, it's Pete.
Oh no.
He was the subject of all these romance novels. And he got killed by his evil twin, and his consciousness was transferred into a fighting robot.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no. Oh my.
All right.
She's
Out of character, if anybody has any recommendations for which direction Cherry should take this.
Oh, that was my serious one. If you're trying to get him drunk, was slip the bartender an extra 20 or something. Have him use some moonshine in the next fruity drink. Old Mr. Bishop Senator Pierce is drinking.
Is that an Ethan suggestion or a Bo suggestion?
They're always
What's the difference at this point?
You could use your Riz and get him into a drinking competition.
I guess you've already got him rolling on the, talking religion and politics. I don't know. Maybe he's the kind of guy who'd be happy just to have someone to talk himself out with.
Yeah, I was kind of going that direction of where she's actually kind of trying to make good recommendations for him.
Yeah, so she's kind of trying to go the angle of like reasoning with him and saying, "Hey, like there's good reason for places like that to exist."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if you're,
And
I guess, your argument of like there needing to be an outlet, you can't legislate morality, kind of
yeah,
thing.
and it sounds like from his response, it sounds like as far as he's concerned, a bar like this and perhaps similar locations are enough of an outlet, and
Be
that
the
um,
antagonist from Footloose.
uh, yeah, pretty much. Um, it's been a long time since I've seen that, so don't quote take that too directly, but yeah,
It's
remembering the gist.
well, I don't understand why these youths can't have an enjoyable night just by putting on some Billy Joel CDs, staying up till midnight. Really got loose. 12:15 even.
Oh man, yeah, it it definitely does not seem like this guy is going to be susceptible to just being convinced uh, on the merits of the matter. 'Cause he also does not, besides the thinking this is enough of an outlet, um, he definitely does not respond favorably to the idea that you can't legislate righteousness. Uh,
Hmm. Would you say that Cherry has gotten any kind of a sense as to whether he would possibly be swayed by some stronger words of implying physical harm?
So threats, that's still definitely, as far as she can tell, that could still be on the table.
Okay,
Um,
so
she hasn't gotten the impression that he's so much of a zealot that he would, be willing to die to prevent this bar from being approved. She hasn't quite probed
gotcha.
deeply enough to be sure about that, but that's certainly still on the table.
Okay, I had my answer in 2 seconds, but thank you for the extra. um, so following from that, my suggestion, to put on the table beside whatever dangerous surgery Boethan suggested is alluding to how restless kids who don't have a place um, to play that they want to um, can end up being more violent than if uh, if they had somewhere to go that was maybe a little bit undesirable, and that violence could hurt somebody very near to well, not near to him because that's less implying and more directly threatening, but that violence could end up hurting.
Spill over.
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
I think you want to take it a little bit more than spill over. Like you want to bring it halfway between, yeah, the violence could spill over, and the violence could affect you. Somewhere in between those two.
Okay.
I love it, Ethan.
All right. So, as what was the last thing that Mr. Bishop had said?
Yeah, I guess that there was some. She had continued the conversation about the concept of having this, of allowing this other, more exciting bar to be opened, but managed to talk about it in a way that didn't make him suspicious that she was on to him after him about the specific one. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, if she wanted to make that, she wanted to take that angle and try, you know, because we'll just say his last comment had been something about how, you know, uh, you know the Thux teaches peace and goodwill and self-control, and wouldn't doesn't do well for order and peace to allow people to be, to just lose themselves to drink and excess.
All right. So she would kind of lean back against the bar and would sort of sigh. She'd still have more of a pleasant look on her face, but sigh in what sounds like a troubled tone. And she'd say, Mr. What was your name again? Was
Pierce.
it Dietrich Pierce? Sorry,
Yeah.
Mr. Pierce. If you wouldn't mind me stating the obvious, there's, would you say that there's quite a gap here in ages?
uh, yes, I would say that.
Then might I speak frankly about my peers?
Of course.
I find, though it may have been some time ago for you, you may have trouble remembering that for those of us in our youth, very firmly in our youth, that having an
Wayne.
outlet where someone can give vent to those feelings, those passions, it allows you to have better control over yourself in other situations. There are definitely times where one needs to lose control of themselves. And
Hmm.
I think that providing
He
such a
harumphs to that.
space. Hmm?
He harumphs to that, but not loud enough to like try to interrupt you.
She would raise an eyebrow at that. Um she would say, sorry, I'm trying to remember exactly what it was that Dex said
Oh.
about having an outlet. But I find that when young people, particularly, but of all ages, when people don't have that outlet, sometimes it comes out in ways that people don't intend, and it can hurt people, the people we least want it to hurt.
Well,
Proper action for the proper place. That's what Vithox teaches, right?
uh, not at all. And sounds like perhaps you'd
Wait,
could learn a bit more about these teachings you profess to understand so well.
I'm only repeating what you've told me tonight, sir. Maybe
Proper.
you need to be a better teacher.
Ooh.
Snap.
Well, that struck a nerve, and she can see that immediately.
She would lean over and say, but if you're offering to put in the time, I'm definitely willing to listen.
Oh boy. That's gonna be another talk check.
Okay. Uh,
You
watch
better
it be
get
a
better than a
7.
7.
Yeah, I
Better
was going
not
to
be
say
a
watch
7.
it be another 7. Oh, please be better than a 7. If it is another 7, I'm going to be so upset. Okay.
You should still have your reroll.
Boom! Yes! Okay. Better
Okay,
than a
so
7.
he seems very much uh, off balance because he clearly starts to get upset at her, scolding him and saying saying that she was just repeating back to him things he'd said to her, and now just seems kind of confused. Uh, he says, "Well, I'm
Mayday, mayday. This is not a normal you're all in girl.
yeah." He's like, "Well, I'm sorry to have confused you. That wasn't nonsense about action in proper place. There's some things that there's no proper place for, and but I'm. It's getting late. I think I should be on my way. It was an interesting time talking to you, Miss." He's prompting for her name,
Amarina.
Miss Amarena. Uh, Perhaps we'll meet again on another night, but
There you go, relying on luck again.
well,
Let me know when you do decide to make your own luck
hmm, well,
instead of relying on happenstance.
I'll be sure to. Until then, the peace of the fox be with you. And he, smoothly as he can muster, tries to make a graceful exit.
Ah, come on. I rolled
Clearly,
a 12 and he's wanting to get as far away from me as possible.
he's
Ugh.
he is he's off guard, but he's not reacting negatively to her. He's just confused. Af-
Okay.
After the direct the
Spoiler
pretty
alert, he's
direct
gay. No, I'm kidding.
insult. I mean,
I meant to say plot twist, not spoiler alert. Sorry.
I'll just say that considering what was said, this is
Yeah,
a
that's
very
fine. She
positive outcome.
wasn't she wasn't leaving it just for just a flirtation. She was definitely talking politics and religion, which are very touchy subjects when you've just met somebody.
And
No, Ethan. Bad.
I would
Uh,
actually die laughing though if
oh
it turned out that he was gay and Cherry was pouring that much sugar onto the situation.
oh boy. Oh man.
don't encourage him.
How many times has that joke been made in this and the last campaign?
Uh, don't
Did it? I
know.
didn't remember that. I did not
Oh,
remember that.
I know I made it at least once.
I
You
mean,
You
I've
dodged it for too
also.
long.
Well, I'm glad it's come back.
Oh, it squarely bit me in the hiney.
Dog goes woof, cat goes meow.
Cherry is going to order a burger to go from the bartender
All right.
as she
Oh,
is mulling over the conversation and taking as extensive of notes as she can on her compad for the group. She's
all right.
also gonna try people watching a little bit while she's waiting for the burger. Does she notice anybody else in the bar of note?
Oh no, not really.
Great. Moving on.
Not a single other person in there who looks interesting at all for any reason.
Sweet. Great. Thank you. They're all wearing gray, keeping their heads
Yes,
down. Got it.
morose looks, drinking water. Oh man. Okay, I need to take 5 for my headache.
Oh.
But
I tend to
I
have that effect on you. That's true.
need to collect, scrape my wits up off the floor. Uh,
Hey Danielle, when you get a second, check session chat.
Oh, okay.
um, yeah, I think we got a bit of an idea of what Bo and Pete and Ava are up to in the Fang.
Oh
Eva.
my stars.
Sorry, Eva. What is
What is this
what's
beneath
Zeke
the
been
heart
up
shaped
to?
moon?
Zeke has
That's the book
been
Bo is reading.
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
Zeke has been quiet and at
He went
least
to go get snacks for his pregnant wife, I think.
No, I'm back.
Okay. That's
I
right.
actually posed that question to you, Ben.
oh okay. You want me to tell you what I think Zeke is doing?
Uh, yeah, what happened last session? I mean, did we
Are you
establish
sure about
anything?
that? Hmm.
Zeke did offer to like get everybody into the bar or into where did he offer to get us all into?
Yeah, so people were trying to figure out what to do, and it had been mentioned that he and Cherry were the only ones dressed like somebody who would be a patron at this, slightly upscale bar. Um, but then, and Zeke was, I I I just kind of did the brooding. Oh man, I should have found a couple of timestamps to send you from the last video because there were a couple funny moments. I thought I was trying to nail Zeke because he was sort of in the spotlight already. I was having a hard time kind of getting him out of the spotlight. So I was just trying to do my best to do him justice, but he was just kind of floating his knife around in front of his hands, and it's like, no, I could get you guys in the bar, you know. Then they were like, well, oh wait, could you get us all out too? And he's like, oh yeah. He's like, I wasn't promising that. Like, well, they thought he was talking about teleporting them all in and out, but no, he ended up. They decided not to send him in there with her because he might be. They weren't exactly sure what he was alluding to, or that it was a good idea. Ethan, I think you might have just nailed it. um, yeah, because I don't know. He strikes me as a slightly brooding type. Um,
That'd be fair.
and not having anything to do, I imagine him. He's not trying to attract attention, but in the back of a van, he I think he'd feel fine fiddling around with some little telekinesis or something, just basically fidgeting. Um,
Anything's a fidget spinner if you put your telekinesis to it.
exactly. And
Spoken as a past telekinesis user.
That had a
including your
fidget spinner.
crewmates. Yeah, if you,
They put a human in.
Yep,
Yeah.
true. Just have to find your human. Your
that's a
human hamster.
human-sized hamster wheel with a giant fidget spinner.
Maybe he's trying to draw a badger with his telekinetic manipulation, like pick up the pen, learn to
Okay.
draw.
Like trying to learn to write with your offhand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Developing
Right,
a
with your
fine motor
mind
skills.
hand. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like practicing disarming a bomb. Yeah, at a distance.
A little less explosive.
Mm-hmm.
So even safer.
All right. So once I get this to go burger, Cherry would thank the bartender for livening up the night for her, given her company not doing their job as well.
You got it, sweetheart. Anytime.
All right, and then she would head out
And she can
with
tell
her
that
brown bag burger.
his mood and his smiles improved drastically after the tip.
All right. Good to know. I'm also gonna need his name for my notes at some point.
He had a name badge on. It was Mick.
All right, Mick. All right, she'll head back out to the van after checking around, seeing if she sees anybody that would be looking her way. She'll get in once again on the side that's not facing the club.
Okay. Yeah, looks like the coast is clear.
All right, she'll shove the bag of meat towards Bo.
The bag of meat.
The bacon double cheeseburger.
He'll take that. I could kiss you.
Bo,
Please don't.
we're talking about electrical codes.
Eva,
Those are not
quick hint.
nearly as interesting as what's in this bag.
I bet you don't know how many calories are in it.
Question: did he put down his book to grab the bag?
Oh, that had already been like shoved to the bottom of his bag.
Okay. Darn
Too
it.
bad.
Can I have Cherry be like, why are you guys talking about electrical codes when you're reading a Jennifer Moon novel?
Hey,
It's because I'm just so interested in amperages.
Right. Yeah.
I'm so
Um.
proud of him. This is exciting,
Anyway,
Cherry.
Normally I just, when I'm having to work on
why do
that
I
kind of
feel like
stuff, I just put in the little capacitors until they stop blowing up. But I think this stuff might.
stop trying to talk at this point and just slides into the front seat next to Pete?
Well, soon, Bo, you'll be able to slide in the
He just
capacitors
shrugs.
without them blowing up.
Pete, can you, for the love of all that is holy, please drive us back to the ship?
But they sell so many of them. What am I going to do with all them extras?
There are
That's beautiful.
1,000 interesting things that you can do with capacitors. Let me tell you of them.
Okay, well, Cherry, was there anything interesting besides this bag of meat?
Basically, Mr. Pierce is a blowhard and doesn't like to have fun. The end.
I knew it. Kneecap them.
As much as I want to say no to Bo right now, honestly, trying to use fuzzy kneecap language might be the better way with this individual. I mean, he didn't take things negatively. He's just so old. Ugh. He just won't change his mind.
Is that a sign
Maybe
of
I
getting
needed
old?
to ask more nicely. Maybe I needed to say please. I don't know.
I don't think we
I think
have
a
time.
thick stack of. Credits would change his mind, Eddie.
He does live at home with his mom. Could that be for financial reasons?
I don't know. I think we got a bag with 5,000 reasons for him to say yes to that building code
But
back at the
that's
ship.
our money.
Our down payment. There's more coming if we get the job done. And if we don't get the job done, we might lose more than those credits.
Yeah, we told old Mr. Badger Expresser that we was going to use that as a down payment for getting the job done. This is just even
It
more
is-
direct.
But if we can do it without paying him anything, then that's money that goes into the ship.
Yeah,
Well, maybe we don't need to offer him the full amount. Maybe we
I'm
start
good with that.
small. See if he'll take
Mm,
1,000 credits.
Laser
Grab
bolts is cheap.
Listen, I know you're thinking of 5,000 different capacitors you can spend those 5,000 credits on, but listen,
Only 4,925.
I don't think we need to mess around with the likes of Mr. Gray.
Hear me out. I can get him out of the bar.
Honey, he already left.
Won't, won't.
Oh, he's good.
He walked out on me.
No way.
I
He didn't even
know.
do anything, and he got that fella out of the bar.
The audacity. It was so rude.
Okay.
Jerry's like tearing up.
So
You'll
back to D.
you'll be
right?
okay. So what we have to do is you already have surveillance on him. Find out when we can get him alone, and we'll all approach him. Cherry, you can say the words nicely, and I can tell him just the straight down facts that if he doesn't buy the nice words and take my money, take our money, then he'll be taking a baseball bat or, but what do you use? You can't shoot
I don't
him.
want to know. Please don't. Nope. Don't need that information.
You can walk away before Bo begins the beating.
Oh my word. How about we first look into his financials, okay? Like, let's just like take a minute. This is attempt number 1. It's been like 1 day.
Go ahead and look into his financials then. But we need to do this fast.
Oh my word. Thanks, Ben.
I guess now that's something Bo can info dump on. He'd pull out his pistol and he'd say, "Well, I normally use this. I mean, laser pistols are self-cauterizing. You can
Oh
tinker with the
no.
frequency some if you have some of the special kit adjustments put on them."
Isn't it loud?
Has Pete started driving us back to the ship?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh, it's
thank
all
you.
on how you modulate the frequencies. I guess it's still, I don't know, quieter than a revolver, but still, I guess loud enough to make a ruckus.
You know, actually, speaking of quiet, Zeke, what if you quietly popped into his house?
I have to have been there before. So if you could quietly pop me in there, I could get back there later.
Just a
Aren't
clarification
you
for the
gonna have
player.
been in there if you quietly popped in?
Just a quick clarification for the player. Unless Zeke is being deliberately coy, you just have to see inside.
Oh, okay. I thought I had to have been inside.
Well,
It's line of sight or
yeah.
somewhere you've been previously.
Mhm.
Okay, then hand wave. He said, "Yeah, sure. Give me by a window."
The old B&E.
And Bo and Pete can wait outside to make sure that he doesn't somehow escape.
Oh, Zeke gets to crowbar open a window, and I gotta wait outside.
I mean, can't Zeke bring a willing? Am I remembering that wrong?
He's not there yet. That's a
No.
level 2 thing,
Okay.
which he won't get to do for a while. I say for a while. I guess at the next level up, he could potentially take that, right? Yeah, because you guys are 3 now. You got precog. Yeah, his teleportation's 1. If he could dump all his next level points into it to be able to do.
I mean, if he can carry Cherry, the way it reads, just say
No,
any mass
the
he is able to carry with his own natural strength.
yeah, but that's specifically distinct from people. Fortunately.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you use the burden deportation for that one. I think that's it.
Yeah, I was trying to look for there's teleportation. Yeah, let's see. Blah blah blah. Let's see. Well, okay. It does say any mass he's able to carry with his own natural strength.
I think because it doesn't mention willing companions until the burdened.
Well, it says resisting targets cannot be carried along, and unresisting ones must be touched.
Nice.
That's odd. Yeah, because I was fairly certain that that was.
I mean, in this example, it's not really that important. I mean, he could just boop in and open
Yeah,
the window.
let's say for the time being that is not going to be possible until he gets to this next level and takes the burden thing. I will double check that out of the session just to make sure I'm not misunderstanding that.
Planet have like voice changer technology, voice altering technology.
Yeah, yeah, you can get that. Are you talking about like something you could carry around with you just to
Yeah,
use when you're
like
talking to
in
other people,
person.
or like for over the
Yeah.
phone? Oh, okay.
One of those little megaphones at the toy store.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Come out
should be
with your hands up.
should be manageable. It just kind of depends on how discreet or subtle you want it to be.
Just thinking that she wouldn't want Mr. Bishop to recognize Zeke if he broke in for the express purpose of intimidating.
Hmm. Oh, got you. So you'd want to have him disguised and also with his voice changed.
Couldn't Zeke just also not say anything? Or are you thinking like voice change for? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he's got to say something.
I mean, if he popped in and left a note on the dude's pillow.
Yeah, I leave my scrapbook of pictures.
True.
I like that. It seems more menacing. Could I
I'm
do that while he's
kind of
sleeping in the room?
I'm kind of
Huh?
leaning towards a more direct action, honestly. Um,
Really?
yeah, and I think Eva is getting anxious enough that she's leaning towards it also. I don't know if it would turn out well, and I'm definitely not going to do it without group player consensus, but what if we just have Zeke teleport Eva in, and she can try and basically say, "Hey, look, I tried getting my girl to talk to you, and you blew her off. So here's what the lowdown is. Either approve that thing, or I have people surrounding your house to rough you up."
Yeah, except for he's an well-established politician who definitely has the legal high ground and way more connections than us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's great either, but I think it's Eva is young enough at this that she might take that foolhardy approach. And I mean,
Hmm. I think Pete might object to that one, being like, Eva, this is a bad idea. You should not go in. You need somebody to be threatening, and you need to be anonymous.
but why does Eva need to be anonymous?
Because if you want to continue to get more work, you
Yeah,
can't have a wanted bounty on your head.
There
yeah.
wouldn't be any bounty if he agrees and says, "Okay, don't beat me up," um, and we
What
go
if he
back to.
disagrees?
Yeah, what if he actually has a spine on top of morals? He wasn't at the bar
Right?
drinking milk.
I can
Like,
think of one way to deal with a spine.
oh my word.
So can Bo.
Both you can get more than
Yeah.
one, probably.
Okay. I just thought I'd offer it up as a possible Eva takes charge kind of thing. And
Oh, like Pete would go with the idea, but he wouldn't want Eva to be the one running front.
it,
So one other thing, like, didn't Zeke register as a psychic here
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, he
pretty
did.
Yeah.
recently? And like booping into this house,
Yeah.
threaten a guy.
Directly face to face would definitely be a bad idea.
okay, well, it
Yeah,
doesn't have to be Zeke. Then
If
Eva
he
could
was
just walk
able
up
to
to the door.
like pop in, leave the scrapbook
Okay.
on his pillow and pop out,
I want to do it
So,
while he's sleeping. I feel like
you
it's more.
could honestly even just leave it on his doorstep for his mom. It's a package. Just, I mean, you guys are great at delivering packages.
I do agree that
Just
leaving it inside the house is a lot more threatening, a lot more
So
intimidating.
let me just pose a question, just in general for this plan. I'm going to try to do this in a way that doesn't push you
Steal
guys in any
agency.
particular direction, right?
Yeah.
I just want to ask if as long as you're considering, um, what sort of timetable are you wanting to give him to take action before the threat of whatever comes down on him? Slash, how much time are you giving him to make this decision?
Here's a thought. What if Zeke teleported in with the scrapbook and a note and then used his telekinetic manipulation to slap him with it from outside the house?
my word.
So anyway,
Your
my
questions,
question.
Ben, are time to reach a decision. It depends on what direction we're going. If we're going with the subtle approach, I mean, we also have to have a follow-up conversation with him or follow-up tracking on him to find out if he has changed his mind.
Yep.
Um,
You know what else we could do? We could kind of pose as the good guys. We could say, listen, we know that somebody with a vested interest in this place opening is willing to pay money to see that it opens, and the people he pays after us might not be as nice.
That's a good idea. Or even just not like the people he pays after us, but just be like, we know that this is coming. You need to be careful, sir.
Yeah, I guess
Like we
so.
figured it would be good to warn you.
I think Eva could definitely be like a heading, like running that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
mm,
the good rep.
And I would also say, like, again, kind of a like these forces are going to find a way, if that makes sense, to have these sort of bases. Why not have it in a place where you have to hold them to, where they have to be held to your all in codes, and where you can have inspectors go and make sure nothing bad is happening and
now,
hold them
Eva can certainly
accountable,
talk about
essentially.
all that, yes.
Yeah. And I think if you have Pete with Eva to say something like, listen, we're trying to reason with you, but if we can't convince you, then whoever plan B is might not be as Vithoxian in their approach. Is that still too forward for Pete's tastes, or
No.
I think this is the other thing too, is like we've talked about fuzzy kneecap language, but at least for Cherry, she's not really okay with just roughing up some upstanding person.
A grandpa.
LOL.
Mm,
Even if it's a silver fox, she's like, listen, he's a good guy, unfortunately.
So you're saying that Cherry is wanting to do something that convinces him without actually having to make good on any sort of
Threats.
threats.
Yes.
Hmm.
yeah, it could work. It's a another plan.
Right. So which plan it would Eva lean towards? And Pete, since they're co-captains.
Um,
You guys
I
have
mean,
time
like
to talk about it. Cherry's
Pete
sulking,
would
Zeke
like.
is drawing badgers, and Bo is eating a bacon double cheeseburger.
I
So
do want to be clear that Eva is not the one suggesting that the whole go in and make forceful threats. That was me as a player.
Right.
Yeah.
Pete would just leap out in front of that and be like, wait. No.
Well,
all right, well, it's not happening, so no leaping needs to
no
occur.
leaping, no leaping.
So,
Take one leap.
so the question is, what kind of plan, given that those are the two meta plans, in character, how would you guys like to take those two plans and talk it out?
I think, would you say that Cherry would have suggested anything to this extent?
I think probably she would have expressed concern at like, if we can't convince this guy, Mr. Gray is not going to take no for an answer. So what'll the next group of people who take up this job do?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
She would make a point of, well, so in character, I'm going to swap real quick. Cherry has stopped, being dramatic about being snuffed, but in a more somber voice, she says, I asked for a deposit from this Mr. Gray character because I thought this was an open and shut kind of job. I didn't realize that the place he was wanting to open was a shady place. And I didn't realize that the person that doesn't want him to open it is just a good guy. And if anything, I want to convince this guy to open it just so he doesn't lose his kneecaps to someone like a group of bows. No offense. I just don't know how to do that. I don't think I can do it by myself. Maybe if we, I don't know. I just wish we could say that to him.
I can convince him of that. I'm sure of it. He's an academic. He'll talk to me.
Cherry's eyes would have gone wide at that, and she would have looked over at Pete and then remembered that Pete's a robot and she can't read his body language.
I guess he's got a mouthful of burger with him. Bo would say that. Why are you all so convinced that this guy's good?
Because we don't know that he's bad.
Yes, we know something about. He's in the Vithoxian government, and he's one of them fundamentalists. So he don't believe in violence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he does not.
Well, then how's his government still in power? Wasn't there just a war on?
I think that there was an outside group that helped, and they also have members who are given religious right to violence to help the Thox's ways, if I'm remembering correctly.
That sounds like what I read.
Yeah, so he thinks violence is bad, but it's okay for him to hire other people to go be violent on his behalf.
We don't
I
know that
don't
he
know if
thinks that.
he's the one hiring the military.
Well, he sure didn't
I
object
do
from the
agree that
sound
the
of it.
Thoxian religion is a bunch of, well, it doesn't make sense to me.
And then I guess we see him here. Sounds like grease the skids on contracts and approvals for folks he likes, and puts halt to any of these folks he doesn't like, how they decide to live their own lives.
Did we actually see any evidence of that, Ben? Or
Sorry,
hints of that?
any evidence of what particularly?
Of him greasing?
Nepotism.
Yeah, basically.
Sorry, I heard greasing and I didn't hear what Danielle said.
Nepotism. Is there any evidence of him
Various
practicing nepotism?
favoritism. Well, I
Or
guess we've seen the
favoritism?
negative one, and Bose is kind of assuming
Yeah, that's actually
The
what I
opposite
want to
of
know
what's
is he actually favoring anyone else? Or favoring anyone in his decisions?
No,
Yeah,
not that you've been able to see.
yeah, Eva. Bo, I didn't read anything like that from him.
well, soon he's just a stick in the mud who doesn't approve things for
I think
people who don't believe the same way he
I think
does.
Cherry and Pete are right. We can't jump to being violent people just because we're not getting our way and Mr. Gray might kill us all.
Yikes! You
That's
really
one
guess we
way
just
to
can-
like
convince some not to.
put that into the other. Like you said that like
Well,
out loud.
we got a variety of options still. I don't
I,
know if we keep calling him a good guy. It just seems like he's a
it's
born kind of
okay,
bad.
fine. He's just a guy, okay? We don't have to decide if he's good or bad. We just have to get him to let the club open. And I this is a good plan. Me and Pete will go in and we'll talk. Cherry, do you want to come and do the help with the pretty words? I'll obviously provide all of the academic and intellectual support.
Didn't Eva? Didn't she just
Ben,
talk to him?
Oh, she
Hmm.
did. It's okay. We'll go. He didn't want to talk to you.
he really didn't.
Cherry is taking this so well. I'm so proud of Cherry.
Cherry's pissed at Fierce.
Okay. So Eva's saying what really are quite mean things, unintentionally mean, is still getting redirected to him. Perfect.
Yeah, just rolling right off her back and onto Pierce.
Then we do this soon. I want to go on the archaeological dig, and I want to. There was another job. I'm so confused right now. I can't remember what the other job I liked was.
Listen, look at me. It's late. You haven't even had anything to drink. I've had like 3 drinks. I am hungry, and
And
it
Bo
is late.
and Bo has had me talking about electrical engineering and planning all night. I am parched.
Cherry
Uh,
is going
I still
to
got like half a cheeseburger.
Cherry's gonna lean over her seat and go, "Can we just go back to the ship and pick this up tomorrow?"
First thing,
The ship's
Great.
just over there.
thank you, Pete. I didn't even know we were driving. When did you start
Well,
driving?
upon seeing
30
that they
minutes
had
ago.
parked, Cherry would whoop and get out of the car and practically dash to the ship.
On the While they're walking back. Pete, are we doing the right thing?
We're doing what needs to be done to survive, and if we don't do it, someone worse will.
But if wouldn't doing what needs to be done to survive just mean threatening him directly? Going straight to, what if he just says no?
Then we got to get harder with him. I mean it. If we don't do it, somebody worse will.
I'll
Much worse.
I'll prepare a debate speech and lecture that he's sure to listen to.
It's a really good
Okay.
thing Cherry already left the van.
Oh, you're just gonna draw him into submission.
Eva
It'd
and her
work on
-1
me, but I feel
charisma.
like this old fella's made us some different stuff.
Oh, what was the first part of that, Ethan?
Oh, I said I think it'd work on me, but this fella seemed to be made of different stuff.
No, he's an old man academic. They're all the same.
I don't know if academic's the best word for him, but if that's how Eva views him, then
It's definitely helping her, yes.
I think my pappy used to talk about some of them fellas. He said they was like pigs wallowing in the mud. I
What?
don't know if he'd listen to you. He'd just like it.
Then he wasn't an academic.
Sometimes they just want to wallow.
Not intellectuals, Bo. Intellectuals and academics, scientists and doctors, they don't wallow.
You gonna tell me
They
that
do.
2 hours in the car talking about conjugating wires and
Connecting, and that was educational.
multi-family complex that wasn't wallowing.
There were no families involved, Bo. And that was all educational. You learned something, Bo.
Yeah, educational wallowing. Pigs got
I'm
mud, academics
I'm
got
not
education.
I'm not wallowing.
Is Zeke still in the van at this point?
I think we're walking back into the ship. We're bringing this to Cherry.
Aw.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of discussion about
Yeah.
trying to convince him
Cherry.
nicely versus be more forceful. But I don't know if Zeke has chimed in on the whole subject, has he?
No,
Zeke threatened to stab him like 3 times, hadn't he?
Yeah.
If Cherry had been coming into the cargo bay to offer snacks to everybody and walks in to Bo and Eva arguing about wallowing, she's going to seriously reconsider backing out of the cargo bay again.
But Bo is getting
Look-
under Eva's skin. She's getting flustered.
Being compared to a pig wallowing in mud will do
Oh
that to a lady.
yes.
Yeah.
He hadn't even delivered the worst jab. At some point, he's definitely saying, I think the academic doth oink too much.
Oh no.
Ah!
I was gonna say Bo. I don't think tech is a strong point of Bo's.
I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Eva storms off.
She storms past Cherry. Cherry would look wide-eyed at the rest of them.
Pete will just shrug and be like, she doesn't like this kind of job either. Like you. But I'm trying to tell her, if we don't do it, someone worse will. So let's try to convince him and save his life. I think
I guess
we
I
have a
hadn't talked.
working plan. He'll just look at him.
Is y'all really sure that old Mr. Gray swings that way? That he'd really be down to off this fella?
I think at this point Zeke would probably chime in and say, often this fella probably isn't necessary.
Yeah, I guess we don't have to do it. Y'all are just making it sound like he'd go hire somebody who would if we don't get this job done.
We could
he
certainly
might
give
just
him
take
that
out the
impression,
mom.
but there is another weak point that he's got, right? I mean, he lives with
Yeah.
his mom.
Oh,
I'm gonna go find Eva.
I don't know about being mean to his mom.
No, we don't have to actually be mean to his
Bo
mom.
has a
We
line.
don't need to. But
We just
Gray
have
would.
to imply that he better comply.
Maybe there's still some kind of carrot. Maybe he's one of those folks who feels like, you can balance out them wrongs. We offer a bunch of money to, I don't know, build something pretty at his church and get him to
See,
sign off on this paperwork or something.
These tactics takes time and money.
Yeah, we just got to get the ball rolling. Doesn't take too long for him to sign on the dotted line.
I'm just saying he could use some more motivation.
That's honestly actually kind of the plan. Not threatening his mom, but giving him the motivation in a direct, kind of
Debate speech form.
yes,
Yeah, I guess
debate
just enough
speech.
arm twisting to make him squeal.
Talk his ear off.
Yeah, I think Zeke has a very different meaning when he says motivate him directly than convince him face to face with flowery language.
I'm just saying he loves his mom. At least I assume he does. He lives with her.
Well, doesn't everybody love their mom? That doesn't mean you go murk them.
Again, we don't have to do that. It's the implication. You should get the ball rolling much faster.
Oh, implication.
Did Pete react to that?
Nope, not really.
I was like, 'cause
Typical for his line of work.
Bo was against that, but Pete kind of didn't react much when Zeke brought up the mom threats.
I mean, Pete was making the point like
Yeah,
somebody will
somebody
do
else
worse
will do it.
things.
Yeah, true.
So he's already making the point, and like
Mm-hmm.
Zeke is
Using
making
right
the
up.
point again.
Yeah, I see. I got you.
Zeke's like, why
Yep.
wait till the next guy? We can be the next guy.
Be the worst person.
Why be better? Why not just be worse?
I mean, it's in the eye of the beholder or whatever. What
Right,
if,
well,
so Ben, what if we did decide to play this out nicely?
what if you tried to play this out nicely?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Some
I guess like an oracle question there.
oh, okay. Oracly. Okay.
Ooh,
You tried to play
Oracle.
this out nicely. Okay. So, all right.
We
So
take the high road.
from Zeke's point of
Wait,
view, so
wait,
he's
actually, before you answer that,
okay.
Marty, would we prefer to know what happens if we take the high road or the?
Yeah, what happens if we just try to basically say that this is gonna get built and the person who wants it built will this will get built even if you have to be steamrolled, and you should be careful, sir. Like that kind of a thing. Take the high
Yeah,
road in that
see
one.
the high road. We want to know what happens if we try to take the high road.
Yeah.
Just making sure we're all on the same page there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
and so high road being like, trying to use reason to convince him and like maybe even the, you know, if somebody is pushing for somebody's willing to pay money to see this open, if it doesn't happen now, somebody else will come along. That kind of, is that the high road?
Exactly. We don't threaten his mom at all.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, no, his mom is fine.
Ben, do you want to know what my current thoughts are for Eva before answering that, or do you want to answer it unknowing because Zeke doesn't know? I don't know how you want to play the Oracle like that.
Yeah, so it would definitely be from Zeke's perspective and as though he were undertaking some action. Now, if Eva wanted to prompt him, I think he would have explained it in enough detail that she definitely would have picked up on the nuance that
Oh no,
you know.
Eva
It
and
would be,
Cherry are gone. They're not in the same room.
oh no, that's true. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, no, I think this is gonna be dependent on Zeke's current perspective. Um, and so yeah, I mean, wouldn't be opposed to hearing that, but I don't think it's going to influence this Oracle result. Let's see. Oh, the most relevant minute, and you're level 1 or 2 now.
Level 2, so it's 1 week into the future.
Okay, a week into the future. The most. Boy, man, this is a lot of this is a lot of power and responsibility all at once. Let's see. Okay, the most relevant is so a week out. If you guys go for the and so from Zeke's perspective, does High Road um do you do like the breaking and entering kind of thing to like get him while he's vulnerable and deliver this spiel to him, or do you just go to his house and go meet him at daylight hours and corner him with the convincing?
I've understood the latter to be the party's intent, but
Okay.
that could be a me problem. I mean, is that where everybody else was at?
Doing it daylight upstanding kind of way, or were you guys thinking like still get in his house at night to imply some threat and then deliver that? I
I'm
Daylight
gonna let the
upstanding.
show captains decide that.
If yeah, daylight upstanding is in line with how Eva is currently planning to
Okay.
approach
I
this.
also I also think we're trying not to get Zeke arrested.
Right.
Yeah, you made a
Yeah.
really good point about being registered as a psychic. That's
Hmm.
that's one of the
Okay.
risks of being psychic. It's one of the controls.
Yeah. All right. So that makes sense. Because I think that was implied in the way you guys were talking about it before. So that's something that Zeke would have picked up on and understanding what Eva and Cherry particularly are more in favor of doing, considering that the high road. Uh, so I will admit I'm having a little bit of a difficult time deciding whether the
You should kill the
his
party or not.
no, whether his reaction in the moment to that tactic would be more significant, or if a week gives some time for
I mean, I
boy.
feel like if it comes to a resolution of any kind within the week, that's the more.
Yeah, that would be more if there's
Even
some
if
sort
it's
of
like
resolution of it that is more
Mr.
significant
Gray
than
reaches out to us.
right, like that would be more significant than yeah, that would be more significant than just whatever his immediate reaction was it's just tough because that reaction is also a major part of what's being asked. So okay, sorry, I'm taking too long with it, but let me think for
You
just a
are.
moment more here. Um, a week is that's a lot to consider. Okay.
Is it a thing that's easier for you to noodle on that and give it to us at the beginning of next session? Or
No.
No, I don't. Yeah,
Oh.
I don't. Yeah, I mean it would, but
Boo.
no, that would
but
because you guys are trying to make decisions here. Okay, so
Start with how
um,
he would react in the moment and then go to what the solution from that would be.
well, I think we get one the way it
yeah,
is.
it says you get a single brief vision.
Here, I'll read all over
Okay.
you.
So yeah,
No.
it's like no, please no wall of text. Um, okay,
Especially because we were in the middle of TRP on roll 20.
right. Oh, true. Here, let me just.
You can delete it.
I think I
Don't
can.
worry, just
Sweet.
Okay, so I think
I'm gonna shut up so you'll actually answer this question.
um, no comment. uh, okay, so you guys take the high road. So I think the most relevant brief vision is going to be um, I think it's going to be. Let's see. Would this be in person?
Yep.
Okay.
That was the discussion.
So I think Zeke's I think his vision is going to be um he's going to see himself in in a in a posh sort of like living room with wall-to-wall bookshelves, really nice furniture, and see himself standing behind a you know really plush armchair that Eva is sitting in, and the rest of the group is sitting in furniture, but various levels of tension as as Emmanuel Gray paces back and forth at the other end behind his own armchair, uh, red faced and not quite shouting, but speaking very intensely and pausing occasionally to point firmly at Eva
Oh no.
and sparing a brief glare for everyone else as well. And the gist of what he's talking about is his church security and lines of inquiry, uncomfortable questions. Um, he's under scrutiny now, and you know, demanding the down payment back, and that that would pretty much cover the minute, I think.
And I think that'll pretty much cover our choice of not taking the high road.
Unfortunately, I think that uh, tells us a lot about what other options would basically anything, just about anything that comes
Yeah.
across with Emmanuel Gray's name.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a way around that, honestly, because he knows who the club belongs to, or who's building the club. Um, Anything we do, except for literally convincing him that it's a good idea, which I don't think was going to happen, or implanting it in his head psychically was going to get us in that position. I mean, not anything, but there's a big set of things that would.
Well, maybe instead, what we need to do is come up with a way so that his favorite bar is going to become the same thing categorically as what he dislikes about the new bar. So if we are basically gonna encourage, let's say, the alteration of the business plan of the bar he likes, then
Let me
have that like be threatened, go out of business, kind of potentially.
got you. I was realizing, based on what Dex was saying, I guess I should just uh, maybe clarify that in that speech that Zeke was getting from Manuel Gray, it was very clear that the bar had not been his bar had not been approved.
Oh, I did mishear that.
Yeah, and the
Everyone
fact that
else
he was
missed that?
demanding the down payment back,
Yep.
Gotcha.
that was that he was raging about not only did it did his bar not getting and probably I probably just left that too much to implication, but no, not only did it
No,
not
I got
get
that.
approved, but he was also getting scrutinized, and there was increased security on the bishop and so on.
So crazy thought, out of character question for the party here. What if we just ruined the bar that this guy likes, so that he would have to approve another bar to
Is
have
there
it
That's
only
done?
kind of the direction I was suggesting too.
is there only
I
one
get
other
that.
bar though?
On the whole
No,
planet.
no, there are definitely others. Um,
Hmm. Well, but if he's objecting to the addition on moral grounds, what if we just make it so that the bar he likes is adding whatever he objects to morally? Therefore, he, to be consistent, then has to either stop attending the bar he likes, or I guess you have to undermine his position so that he leaves.
would you like the GM's take on that, given what you guys have learned about him so far?
Gosh, please.
Can I suggest? Can I put out what Eva's currently cooking up first?
Sure.
Um, Tell him the position that we're in and that he's in, without specifically saying Emmanuel Gray, of course, and make it clear to him that that Eva, she found herself in this position uh, through her own means, but also through ignorance, and then plop all the codes and regulations down in front of him that he would be able to use to nickel and dime, to needle and prod Emmanuel Gray at this new bar.
Oh, make it a way that he can get back some
Yeah,
sort of.
basically put in front of him, hey, here's a bunch of kids that got in over their head, and there's literally nothing you can do to protect them because of the power that this man, whose name we shall not mention, probably has. But here's something to uh,
Hmm.
here's like a boon for you in return for you compromising on this bar. You're not actually losing anything. You're kind of actually gaining a little bit of a revenue for the city. And hey, rebuilding costs money.
Hmm. So you're saying basically show him ways that he could, approve it, but also fine him afterward in lots of ways
Mm-hmm.
in order to make revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's an intriguing one. That does presume that um, there are, you know, actionable codes and things like that that he would be violating.
Well, the my impression from the very beginning was that there were things that Mr. Pierce was complaining about, or not complaining about, but uh, basically using to stop the bar from being built. Things that other bars have probably gotten past without having to deal with it because they're built in the past. Um,
So far.
yeah, I did have the
Oh, got
impression.
you.
Hmm? What was that, Danielle?
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, I just I thought you were just kind of making noises. I didn't realize those were words. I'm so sorry.
No, you're okay. It was I had opened up a link to something and
Oh.
the audio started playing.
Oh, okay. Um,
Yeah, so I didn't realize you. So that was the the issues was it was really, I guess, the reason why it's being blocked, but it could be legally approved is that it's being rejected on more subjective grounds that are rooted in um they are rooted in some religious principles, but they're things that are less they're less it's less cut and dry than all the outlets have to be X number of inches away from a faucet or something, and more of like general moral guidelines that someone could say, oh well, that got overlooked, or we didn't think it was going to be a problem, so we approved it, that kind of thing. um,
do you think that the bar would be built perfectly within code?
I wouldn't say that, but it, I'm just, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that there's um, I guess putting the weight of the argument on the benefit he could gain from nickel and diming codes of something that hasn't been built yet is going to be fairly shaky ground.
That's not the weight of the argument. The weight of the argument is we got ourselves in hot water, and
Oh, you can help us get out of it
yes,
by
and here's a trade-off that you can kind of, use to appease your moral sense.
hmm
I don't know. I feel like a really moral person in that situation would find another way to help us.
another way to protect you from the
The
bad man who
consequences
is
of our poor decision.
that does also still pretty implicitly point straight at Emmanuel Gray.
I don't think there's any way around that.
No, but I guess point being that if um, that's similar enough to the high ground path that Zeke was exploring, in that it gives
Yeah.
him it gives him information that Emmanuel Gray is plotting dastardly means to you know get his way,
Okay.
and gives him time to go through legal avenues and um, you know investigate that situation and call on powers that be to protect people who are being threatened unlawfully. Um,
Well, that's all I had.
well,
So
we
the
are
only other thing I
coming
can think of is to get the guy replaced.
up close to end of the session,
Yeah.
so it might be something good for people to reflect on. Yeah, I'm trying not to make this just there's only one way to accomplish the task, but I am trying to uh,
Is there
indicate
one
that
way
there
to
are
accomplish the task?
certain ways that will not accomplish the the objective that Mr. Gray has given you. Um,
Yeah, and apparently that's anything that involves his name. So
I'm
the
not. That's not what I'm
issue,
saying.
well, even the implication.
No,
I
that was my misread earlier. Also, it's anything that does not get the thing approved is my new read. I'm also okay with
Hmm.
failing this and taking
yeah.
off with the 5,000 that we've been given and not coming back.
That's definitely another
Jerry
option.
Jerry would have felt enough danger in that room when she got the 500 five however many credits,
5,000. Yeah.
5,000 credits, physical credits, that she would not be okay with taking it and running.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I think Pete would be like, no, we got to get these back.
I apologize if I'm being too cryptic, because I'm not trying to be cryptic. I guess I was trying to give you guys enough information to put together. I I don't necessarily want to spell it out too much for you guys, but I am willing to make it a little clearer if you guys feel like that would be helpful at this point, because I know that there's been a lot
Well,
of discussion around it.
I don't think we want I think we thought that this would be one small job on the way to the other two jobs,
Yeah.
and it is turning into 3 sessions worth of a job.
like, I wouldn't have thought that he's like this straightforwardly good and resistant. I would have assumed that somewhere in there he's gonna have some sort of way to be like have his palm greased for something. Like
It
like
I
I'm
think
not
the thing is,
complaining.
it it kind of feels like he has plot armor, and it just makes it feel not good because it feels like we're going to have to decide between our characters' like comfort zone or morality versus getting the job done.
Well, I guess
And if that's
I
the decision you are wanting to put before us, that's fine. It we don't want to keep spinning our wheels
Right.
trying to come up with
yeah.
a creative solution if it is just as simple as, nope, he's an upstanding guy, he has a spine, he's willing to stand up for what he believes is right. So you're either going to have to be a bad guy and threaten him and or his mom, or give the money back.
That
And if it's
was my suggestion, like near the beginning of the thing. I
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
I'm
just to
not trying
have
to tell you guys
Eva suck it up and make the bad call. Well, make the tough call.
yeah, I'm not trying to tell you guys you can't have a creative solution of some kind. I'm just, this is a character who has particular motivations, and just telling him, oh shucks, can't you let loose a little bit and let us have a cool bar, is not exactly going to convince him. Um,
no, and
he
I think earlier Cherry was just really trying to get a feel for where he was on everything. I don't want you to think that I thought that she could just walk in there and
Hmm.
bat her eyelashes and get him to open the bar.
right. No,
That
I
was
didn't think
not.
that was the goal. I guess I just mean like that approach in general. I guess my what I was trying to convey through even his reaction to her questions and probing at the bar was that now he's very firm on his stance about this, um, for religious reasons that are deep seated in him, not just, oh well, that's the party line, so got to go with it. Um, and what I was then, and I guess what I'm making a little bit more explicit now about that is that you know between that and the vision that Zeke's gotten about trying to take the high ground approach, is just that he's if you give him an inch to wiggle out of, he's going to wiggle out of it and you know bring down problems. Now,
So the implication you're giving us then is that to avoid problems, we literally have to threaten this guy with any move you make is going to result in you getting killed. Because that seems to be the only leverage we have over this guy is hurting him or hurting his mom. And we're all kind of like, let's not do that.
yeah, I mean that's certainly one option. I think what I'm trying, I'll put it this way. What I'm sort of trying to convey is that you know you need it basically. You pretty much need him stamp in hand while you are making whatever argument that is going to persuade him to do it right now or suffer whatever consequences you guys have come up with. Um, and that doesn't necessarily mean that Emmanuel Gray will be completely, you know, above suspicion in all of this. But at the very least, that will be the case after paperwork is already approved, and in a way that doesn't explicitly tie him to specific people that he's been seen with, or that that he would have instructed to go and kneecap the guy or whatever. But like you say, there's it does seem like there's not a lot of ways to do this that wouldn't at least imply that Emmanuel Gray was involved. And I think it's reasonable to expect that he probably understands that his name's attached to the bar. There may be scrutiny on him as a result of all this. I don't know if that makes sense, or if that feels like a sharp departure from what was being communicated the
Yeah.
rest of the session. But
I think it's given everybody a lot to think about.
yeah. So I guess
It's a lot more morally gray than maybe I was prepared for it to be. Like, a lot.
mm, I got you.
It was all a part of the master plan, hence Mr. Gray.
Yeah, and I'm definitely I am open to feedback on the kind of the nature of the, I guess the quest hooks or whatever, or the adventures that you guys get up to. Um, that I'm, I'll hear out anything like that because I'm, this is the first one for this group, and I was aiming for a, you know, at least Firefly adjacent um, kind of vibe.
Hmm.
The idea of some moral dilemmas, some situations that put you in a difficult spot, either you know, I guess survival wise, or um, you know, having to decide where you draw your lines and how you come out of these situations. It may be that you guys decide the way we navigate this situation is back out of the deal with Mr. Gray. Maybe we do it while also stealing his money because we don't mind, a little bit of danger or, you know, a
No,
fat
that's
payout.
already been shot down. Don't worry about
Oh, man. No, maybe you decide we just try this the upstanding way. Maybe it doesn't exactly work out for Mr. Gray, but we, keep our conscience intact and, you know, deal with the consequences that way. You guys, you guys have options, um, but yeah, just not necessarily everything that you might have wanted to do would work out. Anyway, I think that's probably enough on all that. Um,
Basically, Ben is saying no, but kindly.
that.
it kind of a I'm kind of trying to say no, but I don't know that that's not necessarily much comfort if
He said
what you
no to
really
my
wanted
butt.
was a yes.
Oh.
What did you say?
I
I
think you
didn't
just
catch
missed
that.
that one forever, Ben.
Yep,
Sounds
it's
like I'm
gone.
gonna go back and replay that recording at half speed. Anywho,
Is that what it's
let's.
going to take for you to hear what I said?
Oh, ouch. The barbs are coming out.
Dear.
Well, guys, it's been a great session. Have your 1 XP. I'm sure your favorite was everything. Good night.
I'm sure your favorite was everything.
My favorite
Uh,
part was when the GM told us no and took forever to say it.
Did we get an extra XP for how long it took?
oh my. You're going to make him say no with a lot less time this time.
That's a no from me, dog. That's a whole lot of. You guys had a lot of role playing and good times. I'm not gonna punish you for that, but not exactly be like, you know what? That was an impressive amount of time. Give extra XP for that.
If the no was a screw you, his next no would be screw you in particular.
Ooh.
My favorite was telling Eva she's pretty.
Oh.
That's
Or
good.
sorry, Eva reminding Cherry that she's supposed to also be telling her that she's pretty. That was pretty great.
Yeah, it was a fun moment. Dex, what about you?
Bo reading Under the Heart Moon, I think it was.
Heart shaped
That was
moon.
good.
Yeah, I think
Super
under a
good.
heart-shaped moon.
Under a heart-shaped moon, yes. Oh.
That was good.
Beneath a
And for our
heart-shaped
listeners, I did do cover art for that.
moon.
That's
Yes.
so good.
I need to put that in memes specifically.
Yes,
Memes.
you do.
This goes
I'm gonna
in
pin all of those.
player notes or session recaps.
Yeah.
Player notes would be fine for it.
Ethan, what about you?
Playing that out was pretty fun. And talking electrical code.
Ethan, you're the only person I know who would say that.
Yeah, that was an excellent cover. I liked the filler material you guys had for being in the van, waiting on Cherry's reconnaissance. I I imagine. I guess obviously these are. I guess they're reading these on little digital tablets or whatever. But I imagined Bo sitting there with the beneath the heart-shaped moon book with the cover, like the sleeve or whatever it is from a electrical code manual. And be like, oh yeah, here it is.
Yeah.
Knowing exactly what would give him cover.
That's great.
All right. That certainly that definitely belongs there. Thank you, Robert. That's the place for it. Robert, what was your fave?
I was gonna say Bo reading the electrical code, but also Cherry trying to get info out of this guy and trying so hard.
I think it became incredibly clear why he's still living with his mom.
Yeah, in his 60s.
50s.
Just like, hey, now I do have a line.
Yeah, triple my age is a no.
Yeah, basically.
Avery, what about you?
I have two. My first was the recap,
Mm.
and then the second would be
Yeah, the recap was awesome.
Oracle breaks GM.
Oh
There's a
boy.
reason a lot of GMs will say, no, you cannot play
A precog.
a precog.
Yes. I was even trying to prepare myself mentally. I was like, this would be a prime situation for that. It's just like even then trying to okay, now I've got to think out, how will he respond to this? Okay, how would the aftermath play out? Would that happen within a week?
I
Which is
think the
more
tricky part
relevant?
is even if you anticipate that, it a lot of it has to do with how I might frame the question.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
And honestly,
And
you gave us
I
good
try to be generous with
information
that.
with it. Like, you basically gave us information that high road approach is not going to achieve the desired result.
Yeah.
So it was an informative oracle. As much as we're
was.
upset and angry and never going to play your game again at that fact of that, it was still good information.
Yeah,
basically.
and well, I appreciate that feedback. I'll take the good and ignore the bad. um, yeah, let me think. There were several fun moments. Okay, I think I think one. I guess the barkeep has to be one favorite of mine because that voice just came out of the back of my head, and I'm really happy with it. Um, but the other is, I think it's got to be. I'm trying to think how to summarize it. Basically, Cherry's. I'm trying to think. Almost, I guess, her pointed questions. Um, about luck, because like the first one just came out of left field as far as this guy was concerned, and even caught me off guard a little bit. Um, trying to be in his headspace, which is like, wait, what? Especially after, he thinks he's just like, he just struck out. Like, okay, she's just, she's being very guarded. She's not an easy mark, basically, because she blew off this other guy who, seemed like a, pretty decent prospect. I've got no chance. I'm moving on. And then she hits him with that question. He's like, what? Um, thought that was a fun angle, a way to kind of put him off balance and try to get him interested in the conversation.
I think it was more trying to get him thinking about the decisions he was making and how his decisions were affecting his life and other people's lives.
Got you.
But hey, if there's a Stars Without Number equivalent to like a Warlock class and there's like some chaos god of luck, I will totally throw my name in the pot to be considered for that.
Mhm. There might be something like that going on. I wouldn't say not exactly warlock, but man, there are powers that be. Do they be starting chaos?
It might.
I'm not saying I'd be a fan of like Slanesh or anything, but I mean,
No, that's a whole other ball game. That's just straight up depravity.
what were you saying, Dex?
I was gonna say it might be worth having a conversation about player expectations. I don't know because this was all just kind of in the heat of in character and out of character, but it really felt like there was a kind of drive to protect Eva from making regrettable decisions.
Mm.
And to one of Ben's few good points, the kind of decision that I had suggested early on was actually very much in the vein of that kind of gray area Firefly. So it could be a good moment to talk about what we actually want going forward. Do we want to be good guys in a morally gray area, or do we want to be morally gray uh, in just kind of the world?
Oh, and for the record, Dex, my stated position on that one, what I would have said is like Pete would have tried to get in front of it and prevent it,
Mm-hmm.
but I would have wanted to have discussed that in character.
That's fair. That's fair. And like I said, there was a lot of swirling around, so I may have mischaracterized and misheard. But it from where I sat, it felt like there was a lot of trying to get in front of Eva, becoming, losing her innocence, I guess. And that also could just be very self conceited of me to think it's all about me.
I think there was some of that. I think you're definitely you're picking up on some of that, but I think it wasn't so much of her losing her innocence and more of her putting herself in a potentially dangerous situation.
Okay.
I think that was more what I was picking up on.
I think
Mm.
that's definitely fair. Okay. I can see that.
Oh,
Well, just as a
ugh.
quick hand vote, are are we okay with kind of muddling through? Like I see three options. Muddle through with making decisions as they come and see where we end up, or kind of think about ourselves as good guys in gray situations, or uh, think of us as we are going to be gray in these gray situations. Like, what do we want as players? Sorry if I'm
As a
overstepping,
player,
Ben.
No,
as a
I don't
player, I
think
don't
so.
want to feel like I just played a skeezy character.
Okay,
That's not fun for me.
Yeah, and I
I think
think
that's totally
that
valid.
yeah, I think that's definitely worth probably having more conversation at another time because this is already at the end of
Okay.
our time
Yeah,
for sure.
that's fair. Then I'll just leave the question there, and I
Yeah.
do want to say one more thing. I'm sorry, guys. Once Zeke tells Eva how this goes, I think she'll have one more idea, and I just want to put it here for the GM to consider and for players to think, is that a terrible idea or a good idea? What if we do cancel it? Do cancel our contract with Mr. Gray and tell him that we have explored all the possibilities. We even have resources at our disposal, precognitive resources that have assessed the situation from multiple angles. Basically talk this out to him and say that in every scenario that we looked at, whether it was violence, coercion, temptation of the flesh or of the greed, um, you know, uh, every scenario we looked at, it came back poorly on him, and try to basically position this so that we're returning your money and we're actually saving you from what would have spiraled out of control in ways that you may not have wanted, and we definitely didn't want you looking at us about.
Mm.
Could be interesting. But yeah, we should think on that.
Yeah, definitely.
I could see that being a good option, or maybe best case scenario option, I should say, is if we like go to Mr. Gray and say, hey, we have a precog at our disposal and they could not determine a way that this went well for you with us involved. And so here's your money back. Best of luck.
hmm
Mm.
There's that.
That's kind of the bowing out as players. We don't want to be bad guys as players, and in character, it's we've realized we're in over our heads, and we're trying to. we seriously, well, Eva at least seriously contemplated threatening a politician, a religious politician, man.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know if
Mm.
that's where everyone wants to go, but you're right. It is late for you guys, and I have put mac and cheese in the oven.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Sounds like
Want to
we'll
get between you and your mac and cheese.
Oh no, we
go
definitely
ahead
don't.
and shelve it. maybe what we do is we maybe Ethan with the session plan for next time do something along the lines of a poll for you know with at least a couple of the options presented and have people kind of give their feedback as they think it out. You
Mhm.
know, go aggressive, bow out, take the money and run, uh, you know, try try something moderate. But yeah, I'm cool with giving you guys more time to think that over. No need to commit to a choice at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can go ahead and call it then.
Oops.
Cut the stream and end session 8.
Right. Session 8 is